Alright guys, I just wanted to show you where you go to get the tank asset. So you'll go to the Google Classroom, the asset's there, just go ahead and click the download button. It will download, it's going to be a zip file, so you're going to have to uncompress that file. It'll pop up on your desktop, double click it, folder opens up. That folder is what you're going to go ahead and import into Unity. So I'm going to create a new Unity file. Click the new, rename it to tank. Then go ahead and leave it 3D, analytics off, and then continue, create the project. Once Unity is finished, starting the new project, your tank, you can go ahead and import that folder. Alright, so now Unity's open. I'm just going to move this over, take the folder with the tank file, and then go ahead and drag it into my assets folder. Sometimes it doesn't work the first time. Sometimes you just need to make sure you're selected on your assets folder, and then drag it in there. And then it's going to process it, and then that folder will show up with that asset. And it just takes a little bit of time, so you just need to be patient. Once that asset is fully loaded on there, there is a sample scene. It's kind of like a little bit of a sandbox. You know, you can kind of play around with it and get an idea of how it's going to work. So now I'm going to go ahead and open up that folder. I just double click on it. Alright, and then look for the show scene. When you double click on it, you're going to see the tank. You hit the play button up at the top so that you're going to get an idea of what the player is actually seeing. I move left to right with the left and right arrow key. You can move up and down with the arrow keys going up and down. If you want the cannon to shoot, there's some crosshairs. You just line up the crosshairs and then click the mouse button. If the crosshairs are pointed at the sky, it's not going to actually shoot anything. Okay, so now we want to take this asset. It's already got scripts and everything. You can see it in the hierarchy and it's highlighted orange. So all you have to do is copy that, create a new scene, add a new terrain, all right? Change the size of the terrain to 10 by 10 by 10. This is what, you know, the size of your maze or obstacle course is going to be. Alright, so now I paste, Command V, paste the tank in, go ahead and use the move tool to adjust it and level it with the terrain. Place it on the terrain that you've created. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so I can bring it up a little bit. Alright, now my tank is on the terrain. The next thing you want to do is you do need to go ahead and add physics material. So you're going to go over to Create in Project Manager, scroll down to Physics Material, alright, call that Terrain Material. This prevents the tank from sinking into the terrain. So all you have to do is go back to the terrain, click and drag, place it on the terrain collider where it says Physics, where there says None. Okay, so you've added it, and you can change the settings. If you double click on that material, the terrain material, you can adjust it. Okay, so now the tank can move on the ground. You can see me go ahead and use my control keys. Alright, so now you're going to create an obstacle course. You need to go ahead and actually add elevation. Okay, the tank cannot go through like mountains and things like that, so you need to go ahead and, I'm saving the scene now, but as you go ahead and start adding cubes, you can do your prefabs, you can actually add your material to the cubes, and then I had to bring this up. It was below the actual scene level. I could have typed in 0, 0. It would have ended up at one of the corners of where the origin is. I could scale it, and then finally I just moved it up, and then I could actually see it fully. Double click on the cube, When you double click on it, it will always go to whatever that game object is, and then you can adjust as you need to. And it was literally because I didn't have it high enough. And then once I actually physically moved it, but I'm going to go ahead and create my material. And this is where, just a little review, you can change the colors, you can add texture to it, and it helps like preset some things that you know you're going to repeatedly use within that game scene or that level. Okay, I tried to go ahead and it wasn't, you actually have to have it showing. So I had to literally drag it up, show it, and then drag the material on top of it. Okay, now the rest of the video just shows you how I went in, used the terrain settings that we've already covered to start building hills and mountains as needed. So just remember, you cannot have your tank go through a mountain. It's not going to happen. I mean, it's not like a real tank, so anything above a certain elevation, I mean, it's very minimal, and it just will not go over it. Okay, so by the end of this, you've created a game which is basically an obstacle course that you can shoot with the tank to move some of the cubes out of the way. Now remember, you can change some of the physics settings, okay, if things are not working the way you want it to. Okay, that's it.